Hi folks, it's Thor. Thanks for joining me for another shave. Today we have Hallows by Barrister and Mann. Alright. And this tub is from, I think, about 2 years ago. Today we're going to be using the Gentleman razor from West Coast Shaving. Just did a video on how to load up the blade into the razor. And so there we go again. And we're just going to wet down the face and talk a little bit about creating a lather. So people generally will either face lather, bowl lather. Some people do what's called hand lathering. Just adding a little cube pre-shave there. And today, just gonna do a quick face lather. Wetting down my synthetic brush and shaking out the excess water. And then going right in for a load. Now, depending on the soap, how much water you have, how thirsty it is, the loading process is going to be slightly different. There are soaps that you can load for 5 seconds and get 3 full passes. What I did just there was I ran the water a little bit and I pressed my brush right down into the water. And I'm changing directions. In this stage right here, you're mostly looking to load soap onto the bristles. Want it to be pasty like that. Generally, I start to build up a lather in the soap a little bit, not too much, but I'm not going to do that today. Just going to get a little bit of that excess off and rub it into the face as a pre-lather. Okay. Okay, so from here, I want to transfer that soap to the face. Okay, just getting a nice base coat of soap onto the face. Not worried too much about that mess I'm making. And once I have it everywhere I want it, I'm going to run the water. I will run the brush under the water and then just flick out the excess. There's a lot of different ways you could add water to the brush. Some people will dribble water onto it that way. For a while I was just running the water, letting it stop, and then putting the tips down in the water that accumulated on the porcelain of the sink. But this is the part of the shave where you just enjoy yourself. Do whatever you like. If it works for you, enjoy it. But what we're trying to do is create a protective, slick barrier between your skin and the blade. The best way to make that slick is to add water. Of course, water will run off your face and dry. So lather will kind of hold that moisture there. And with all the extra ingredients that the soap makers use these days, there is a lot of added slickness, cushion, glide, etc. Okay, now I'm getting lather all over the place. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me. All right, there you have it. Got a nice lather there. And I'll do another video just lathering. We'll do a bowl lather so I can show you the kind of consistency I like, or what I think is ideal. But in the meantime, let's just get in on this shave. So right along here, my chest hairs grow up, and they grow up to about that line there. So for my first pass, I will go upward. And I've seen a bunch of videos lately where folks have some irritation right down in this level here. And they've all said that they shave downwards the entire way the first pass. So I believe that's giving them an against the grain pass to start on this sensitive area. And I think that's what's giving them all the irritation. So if you're finding that going down all the way is giving you some irritation on the neck, try to go upwards along the neckline for the first pass. And we can do another video on mapping hair growth. But we'll save that for a later day too. All right. All right. So that one went a little fast. But we're already 8 minutes in, so don't want to keep you too long. If you are a new shaver, I recommend doing 2 with the grain passes for a little while until you can get the shave that you like. So you can see here, got a nice peak, and it's kind of elastic. You'll see the peak will fall under its own weight if I can get it to be long enough. It doesn't really stand straight up. This does a little bit. I guess you could probably use a little bit more water. And to do that, we'll just dribble that down and get back to a lather. So usually for my final pass, generally I do 3, whether it's 2 passes and a cleanup or 3 full passes. Right before my last pass, I will actually squeeze the brush. I'm not squeezing and pulling, I'm just squeezing, letting everything go up, letting go, twisting, squeeze, twist, squeeze, twist, just like that. That'll bring a lot of the lather to the top of the brush and give you a nice lather to work with for that final pass. Okay, and then let's do that again. All right, so second pass, same as the first. Except since we did our neck upward the first time, we're gonna try to do it downward this time. Okay, I'm gonna have a synthetic brush, which takes no time to dry. And we'll just hang it up here. So, when you start shaving, you might wonder what the correct angle is to put it on your face. And people do it in two different ways. Some people will put the razor up against their head like this, and then turn it down until they can feel the blade. Others will put it straight up and down, right along the safety bar where they want it. Tilt it back about 30 degrees, and then start with the nice downward strokes. So if you are new to shaving at all, I recommend that. If you have experience shaving this is the traditional way. If you have experience shaving with a cartridge razor, basically you are, even though the head generally stays and the handle pivots, generally you have this 30-degree angle when you're shaving anyway. So just feel what the natural angle is. Every razor will have a slightly different angle. And so where you want it, back it up, and nice even strokes. Now, a habit that I'm trying to correct on myself is when I get here, I swoop a lot more than is necessary. So you will have to change the angle of the handle as you are going around the features of your face, but it doesn't have to be that extreme. Okay, so I should be able to just keep that straight like that instead of going like this. All right, there we have a 2-pass shave. And you'll find that if you rub your hands in the direction that you shaved, it will be nice and smooth. But if you rub your hands in directions other than the ones you've gone in, there will still be stubble. And that's why we do 3 passes, and we shave in different directions during those passes. All right. So from there, I always recommend cleaning up your face with witch hazel. You may have some in the house already. If not, your best friend Amazon has some. This one is coconut water. Just a bit. Back and forth in the hands, and clean up the face. In general, I will let this dry down, but you don't have to. You can go straight into an aftershave, which is what I'm going to do today. And I love Club Empanade. Those of you who watch my channel already know it's almost what I use exclusively. I do have matching scents sometimes. I do have a matching scent today, which I guess I should probably use. Hallows. Let's do that. Just shake it up. And a couple splashes, 1, 2, 3. Just depending on how big the hole is on top. Not exactly sure what that's called. You'll see the hole on top of here is rather big. Whereas the hole on this one is smaller. And so the aftershave will come out at different rates, so just be careful. And there you have it. Wash down, and then I will just wipe the extra scent on myself and dry down. So there you have it. Just a nice beginner shave. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer. But with that, I believe our shave is concluded. So thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you next time. And until then, don't forget, be generous.